All right, my name is William Wallace. I'm a financial advisor, but that term doesn't mean a whole lot to a lot of people. Even in the industry, financial advisor could be somebody that does stocks. They just do stocks, financial advisor. Somebody that sells life insurance could consider themselves a financial advisor. I like to consider myself more of a comprehensive financial coach. For me, the difference is I think advisor is more of the kind of, hey, this is what you need to do. For me, I like to not only build the plan, but I'm a big why person. I always ask why. And so I want to explain to people, this is why we're doing this. This is why we have the plan. And then also a part of that, I said comprehensive. A lot of financial advisors are very specific. They like to work on, we only focus on investments. We only focus on your insurance. Where I focus is everything in your financial life. When you come into my office, I want to know everything. I want to know, what do you have for debts? Where are you investing your money? Do you own rental property? What are you doing? Do you have children? Are you sending those kids to school? You want them to go to college? I take all that information, just throw it down on my desk, and then I want to know, what goals do you have? Where do you want to be? And I try to mold what you have into where you want to go. Another part of that is a lot of financial advisor groups, they have molds. So if you're 25 years old and you're single, they'll say, oh, you go in this box. This is what you need to do, regardless of what your personal aspirations are. Oh, you're 35, you have 2 kids. This is where you need to be. Everything we do is unique. There's no one set cookie cutter. You come in, it's all about you. You fill out the paperwork, research it, develop it tailored to your personal needs. Now, how do we do that? We do that through what we call our 3 cornerstones. We have a savings program, which is the backbone of everything. Now, a lot of people run into trouble. Say you're unemployed, how do you handle that? You listen to a lot of financial people. There's Susie Orman and Clark Howard and all these people, and they make broad recommendations. You need to have 3 to 6 months of your expenses, save that, or 6 to 8 months, depending on who you ask. But what's right for you? How do you know? If you work a job where it flows with the economy takes a dive, you'll probably need more. You need to have enough to pay your bills till you get to that point where you can get to another opportunity to work again. But if you have dual income family, maybe you work a job where you're pretty secure, then you might not need as much. You can take that extra money and funnel that into something more useful, investments, and grow your future. The other thing is for savings, everybody wants to go on vacations, so you want to plan for that, you want to set aside money for that, but also emergencies. Now, I'm sure many of the people in here, you've had a situation come up where you need a lump sum of cash really quick. What do you do? And if you don't have the money, what happens to most people? They end up running the card, right? Let's go credit card, credit card, credit card. And then what happens? Oh, now I got to focus on debt. I want to pay debt. So now they're not saving. They're not doing the other things that they need to do. And then if something else comes up, what happens? More credit card, and it continues the cycle. So we try to prevent this cycle using savings plans to make sure that you're not taking away from your future potential if something were to happen, the what ifs of life. Now, the big flashy thing everybody likes to talk about is the investment side. So the savings portion, that's the short term. That's to protect you in the interim. But the long term, what are you going to do when you retire? How are you going to retire? How much money do you need to retire at what age you want to retire? How many people know that right now? You know that? How much?
How much do I want?
Well, how much do you need? How much are you going to need?
How much I need? About $25,000 a month.
Right.
Whoa.
You could need it then when you own your mansion. But what happens?
To live the life I want to live?
Yeah, live the life you want. All right, so there you go. So how are you going to get there?
Look what I'm doing now.
Exactly. Yeah, we're doing that. But so that's the key, is a lot of people don't know that. When you retire, what happens to your bills? They're still there, a lot of them. You'll still need electricity probably, unless you're living out in the countryside and you want to live off the land. You'll still need to pay water bills. You'll still want to do stuff. Stuff takes money, usually. So how much do you need to retire, lump sum wise, and how much are you going to need income wise? The other problem people are facing is people are living longer. I don't know if that's really a problem, I guess, but it can be. Because people are retiring at 60, 65, and they're living 20 to 30 years beyond that. And now they're running out of money. There's a lot of people who didn't plan for this. They weren't ready for that. And so they're running out of money. And so you find yourself at 88, frail, and you can't really do much on your own, and now you have no money. And so now you got to lean on your kids, and now that becomes a hardship on children, grandchildren, that type of thing. So we try to protect people through that.
What's wrong with that? You spend your whole...
Well, you spend your whole life trying to raise them. So you deserve the right to be able to leech off them a little bit, right? So hey, no problem, no problem. So we try to do that and make sure people have the answers to those questions, because a lot of people don't know if they're doing the right things. Like, if I could tell you if you're doing the right things, when would you want to know? Would you want to know that now, or would you want to find out when you're about to retire? I think most people would want to find out now. That's what I help do for people. And the last portion of our cornerstone is the most important, is the heart and soul, is the life insurance portion. A lot of people don't understand it, they don't get it. It's a protection phase. So a lot of people have, say, example, you got a family and somebody in the family passes. Maybe it's the main breadwinner. Now what do you do for that money? You still have a mortgage. In a lot of cases, you still have car payments. What do you do? Well, if you don't have insurance on them, now what's going to happen? They're going to have to reach into their funds. You're going to have to start taking from investments. So now you're taking from your future. You're going to have to start canceling things, taking from your future in order to handle now. That's a big issue. A lot of people are finding out. There was a story in the news recently, and a 79-year-old woman, her husband passed away, and she had $9 to her name. And she was about to have to sell everything she owned just to be able to bury him until people came through and helped her out. And are you gonna, how much help are you gonna get? Like Social Security, is Social Security gonna be around when a lot of people in here retire? No guarantee. If it's gonna be around, it's gonna be significantly reduced. So these are the types of things to consider. Also, a lot of times when somebody passes away, what does the other parent do? If you have kids, are you going to stay home with your kids and give up that income? How are you going to live then? Are you going to work harder? Then you still need to pay for childcare. There's a lot of things that go into that. So what I like to say is that I focus on the what ifs, so people can focus on what is and enjoy time with their families and not worry about what am I going to do here, what am I going to do there. Send your kids to school, send your kids to a good college, and give them the life that you want for them. And I'm William Wallace. That's it.